Hey, this is Chad Ferguson, LearnToCatchCatfish.com. I'm going to talk to you today and tell you how to make catfish chum for chumming for catfish. Now, there's a lot of different things you can use for chumming for catfish or for making catfish chum, but my favorite is soured wheat. I've been catfishing for years, and soured wheat, hands down, will outperform anything else out there. No questions at all whatsoever. This is really simple to make. So I'm going to talk you through this here real quick, but more importantly, tell you what not to do when you're making soured wheat chum for catfish. I got a little 5-gallon bucket here. It's all cleaned out. This is a real good bucket that I get from a chemical pool supply company that seals up real well, and a bag of wheat. And this stuff is just plain old wheat. You get it at any feed store. You can see here. Comes in a 50-pound bag, costs you about $7, $8. Also, this time of year, I'm filming this right now in May, and they're getting ready to harvest the wheat fields, and you can go out and find you some wheat fields and usually get you some farmers to give you a whole bunch of wheat on the cheap. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to have to take this, put this down on the floor here. It's not going to show up on video. I'm going to take my wheat here and pour it down in this bucket, and I'm going to fill this bucket up between about half and 3/4 of the way full of water, or with the wheat. And once I get my wheat in there, all I'm going to do excuse me, is fill this up with water about 2 to 3 inches over the top of that wheat. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to take my lid and sit my lid on top of this bucket. I'm not going to seal it down. Now, you never want to seal the lid up when you're making any kind of catfish chum that's souring, because when it begins to sour, it'll let off gas and start to bubble. And if it's sealed up, your container is going to blow up and make a holy mess everywhere. Now, that's really all there is to it. You're going to need to come back about every day or two, check that water, and make sure that the water is about 1 inch or so above the top of that grain, because as it begins to soak up water, it's going to expand and get bigger and take all that water out and absorb it into that grain. You want to make sure you have a water about 1 inch to 2 inches above the top of that grain. You don't need to add anything else to this, just wheat and water. That's it. You don't have to put sugar in it. You don't have to put any kind of other ingredients in it to make it work. It will work better than anything else with just this plain old wheat. Now, I'm filming this again in May. It's going to take this about 5 to 7 days for it to sour in the heat that we have right now. It's averaging about 90 degrees here in Texas. If you want to speed the process along and make it happen a little bit faster, you can put some yeast and about half a cup of sugar in with it, or a beer and about half a cup of sugar. But it is absolutely not necessary, and it'll just speed that process up a little bit. I don't add anything at all to mine. I just mix me up 3 or 4 buckets, and I always have some going, and whenever I get a bucket empty, then I make me a new bucket. Now, to get more information, get more tips, tricks, and information on fishing for catfish, go to LearnToCatchCatfish.com. If you want to learn exactly how I go about locating and catching channel catfish this time of the year, including exactly how to fish and catch huge numbers of channel catfish with chum and without chum during the summer months, go to SummerChannelCatfish.com. Again, Chad Ferguson, LearnToCatchCatfish.com.